feel. Ooh, you know how I feel. You know how I feel.
Test. Okay. That is actually great news. For you're back. I'm not taking credit, and I'm also not surprised. We don't see me because I'm not on there yet. Tara is alerting me that y'all can't see me, but I know that. Now you can see me. There we are. Yeah, I do. Okay. So sorry, y'all. A little behind the scenes. Anne just showed up to say goodbye to us for a couple of weeks. And yeah, so anyway, hey everybody. I hope you're doing well. Let me get that better. And welcome to class. We usually, if you're tuning in for the first time, we get occasional first-timers here. We love it when you say hi. I cannot see who enters and who leaves the room, so if you ever bail on a class, you can say goodbye, but you don't have to tell me. I don't know. And but we do like it when you say hi, and if you are watching for the first time, we really like it when you say hi and you tell us where you're from, because a lot of us here are just digging the fact that we're connecting to people all over the world. Not a lot of people, but some people. It's just trippy to have like students in another continent taking a class, and I've heard from some of you recently, so I really appreciate that. Tonight, I'll be honest with you, is a rotation class, and what I mean by that is I was looking through the last few videos, and I noticed that I had not done a balance class in a while, and it's been 2 months, and as classes go, you know, doing 2 a week, 2 months is kind of a long time. So I thought we would work on some balance tonight, but what we're really going to be working on tonight is called standing point technique. And so standing point includes, well, thank you, Jennifer, for stopping by and popping in. So standing point includes you know, rolls, wheelies, or whatever they call them, walk the dogs, or anything like that. And then of course it includes balance. So it's anytime we're using point technique and the hoop is in sort of a standing position. One thing to remember, if you can, about HoopPath talk is that it's always based on the hoop being like sort of a human. So the hoop can sit, the hoop can stand, the hoop can walk, and the hoop can run. And so in core hooping, the hoop is running, right? And in balance, the hoop is standing, right? And then in hanging, the hoop would be sitting, if that makes sense at all, or lying down, but would be sitting. So those are sort of different ways of looking at different types of point. And I'm actually going to explain some of this as we jump in. So Tara, how you feeling? Tara feels good. She's ready to go. So we're gonna hey everybody. So tonight we're going to start off. I think we're gonna spend most of the time in my iTunes here, if I can find it. And yeah, so some quick questions if you're watching this for the first time. Oh wow, sweet. Carla and Jen are here. Y'all, I'm looking down at this giant monitor. I don't know if you guys know that. I can sort of see what you're saying a little bit from this other monitor, but not so much. So there we go. Actually, that's a little bit better. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, we're going to go old school start for this. Okay. All right. Okay. Oops. That's not good. There we go. Oh. All right. All right. There we go. Okay. 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 Audible breath in. Yeah. Okay. Audible breath in. Hello, Sarah. In the last class that we had, I talked about the idea that our soul was invisible. And in a similar way, I think the balance of nature is invisible. But it's there. And when we upset the balance of nature, we can't see it in the moment, but we see it. We feel it. And so though it's invisible to us, it's very real, the balance of nature. So the balance that we feel and that we seek and that we don't feel in our lives is often invisible, just as it should be. Audible breath in. Tonight's class is about balance. Balance in your work life, balance in your home life, balance in your one life. Audible breath in. If you feel out of balance, then what's missing on the other end of the scale? Audible breath in. Audible breath in. open. In the last moments of our sway, I want you to feel the two trees of the body as the My Dan saw it. That you have a left column they call the left tree, and you have a right column that they call the right tree. Whichever one is dominant in your daily life is your big sister tree. And your non-dominant is your little sister tree. And my Dan believed that to open up and fully develop little sister, she needed opportunity. And so when we're learning a movement practice, we're moving our little sister or moving our little brother or little non-gender or whatever hand around. We're giving it opportunities, the same opportunities that we give our dominant hand. We're not asking it to be as good. We're not asking it to be the same. We're just giving little sister our non-dominant hand, our non-dominant leg, our non-dominant shoulder, an opportunity, an equal opportunity to move as much as the right, or not, or dominant. Audible breath in. Okay, all right. Sarah, I think I greeted you in this way, but if not, it's good to hear from you, Sarah. I'm sorry people can't attend live, but it's awesome that I love that you guys chime in. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grab our hoops now. There we are. Maybe that's better. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sweet, Danielle. Sweet. All right. So let's go ahead and grab our hoops, and we're going to do a little bit of. I know I've done different versions of these classes, and some, I've spent too much time balancing the body. So, what I want to try to do right now is balance. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay. What I want to try to do right now is balance, working on different types of balance throughout the class so that we're not going to be doing solid balance, like on point balance the whole time. But so we're going to do one sort of quick song here. If we're on Facebook, this might get us kicked off of Facebook. I don't know. But this is a good old Sheila Chandra track. But what I want us to do when we start tonight, I want us to really sort of ground into the feeling of balance. I think I'm actually going to kick the slides off for this one. And what I want you to do is to feel into, let's turn the music up. I want you to open up to the exploration, or invite you to open up to the exploration of being physically balanced. And I invite you, you don't have to of course, to just use a good samurai tender grip on the hoop so that you're not just balancing your body, but you're already including the hoop in that balance. And then the moment a leg fatigues or the moment passes or you decide to, you just freely step to the other leg and begin a sort of balance pursuit there. And then if your legs begin to tire, you can begin to create more fun, linear type balances, non-gravitational balances of image or balances of extremes. My goal with the way that I move my body and the habit of that movement is to help me be the most alive I can right up till the end. And to do that, I have to feel for that invisible balance. I have to listen to what feels out of balance. And I have to listen for what is balance. If you're a beginning hooper and you're falling in love with the hoop and you want to use it for your physical benefit, you may be more quick to notice what you gain more than what you lose. You can for sure lose weight, but what you gain sometimes feels so much more significant. You gain your confidence back. You gain your non-dominant hand. You gain the non-dominant side of your body. You gain your freedom to dance. Okay. How you doing, T? You all right over there? Okay, Tara's giving me this. Something's not right there. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's weird. Okay, I see what's going on. Okay, so now we are going to move into more standing points. So just want to give you a quick sort of tutorial on this, just super fast so you understand what we're talking about. For the most part, there's, until you invent the fourth one, for now, there are three more or less categories of point. When the hoop is hanging right here, this is called hanging point. And this is what I would mean when I was saying that this is the hoop sitting or lying down or whatever. This is hanging point. Nama, I was just thinking about you. I was watching an old video and I saw one of your comments. I was like, oh, I wonder where he's going. Anyway, going back, so in this kind of sitting point, this is sort of a traditional hanging point, sort of a traditional point way. When I say traditional, I mean path tradition way of moving the hoop. And the idea with hanging point is that you make a connection to the hanging of it. And that can be sort of weird at first, but here's what I mean. So because it's hanging, I can bring it up and I can let it touch, any portion of my body. Oh, let me bring back the class. Now, from a hanging, since we're going to be working on standing point, I don't want to spend too much time, but from a hanging point, if I start to turn it all, then I move into flying point. And flying point would be defined by any time the hoop is sort of not in the 90-degree hanging position, right? And is being held, by the beauty of physics and magic. So this would be flying point. Now, I don't have to turn to make flying point. If I was hanging the hoop here, and if I turn quickly, I will fly the hoop up, and then I can bring it back down. This is an old HoopPath little circuit we used to do. So I'm holding the hoop right hand, right side of my body. I'm going to bring it up by turning, like we worked on Monday night, by turning. And then when it gets here, I'm going to go pinky to pinky, and then I'm going to bring it back down and put it to sleep here. So let me show you what this looks like in real time. And this is going from hanging to flying to hanging, okay? Now that move is not really that important, but I'll show you some things that you can do with these two movements, right? So I could turn, I got the hoop in my hand. If I just start turning, I'm flying. And if I turn my palm towards me, then I'm inside the hoop. Okay, so if I'm in point position, I'm holding the hoop on the back of my hand. And as I'm turning, right, I start flying here. If I just turn my palm towards me, right, just thumb towards me here, then I'm inside the hoop, and then I can do cool things there, or I could pass the hoop off. And so flying flying point is really a cool thing. Maybe we should try just a few minutes of, let me put some flying point music on. It can make you dizzy though. Yeah, here we go. This will work. Well. I forgot this is the slow build song. Okay, so I'll show you what I'm talking about again. We're only going to spend a second on this because we're going to get to standing point, which is next, but this is flying point type movement, right? And it can be really fun, and if you get dizzy easily, you don't have to worry about that, right? Because I'm still flying point right now. A vortex, in a way, is kind of like a flying point.
oscuro che agota le memorie. Penso in ti cada vez más, como un calor intenso que nubla voluntades.
Wow, that was pretty fun. Yeah, that's a good song for that one. All right, so okay, so now we're going to actually. I love the way this class is going. Let's see how much time we have. Okay, we're doing great. Okay, so I want to give you sort of a sense of. Nice, Sarah. Absolutely. So I want to give you a sense of some standing point here that is not necessarily balanced. Now, don't get me wrong. For those of you that are waiting for us to get to the balance, we're like a song or two away from that. But we're just going to do one more sort of standing balance one, or excuse me, standing point. So we talked about this technique before. This is a technique. I think every hooper has played with this, but I will say that Dustin Hubel really blew this up whenever that happened 10 years ago or whatever. But he was one of those guys that, took something and just went with it, and it was incredible to watch. So what you do with this, and I'm not teaching his technique. This is something that lots of hoopers do, but I'm leaning the hoop against me, and what we're going to play with, and we've done this before and you guys kind of dug it, but we're going to play with just sort of tapping and moving the hoop. And what you can do is like lean the hoop against you, and then just create just a little bit of lean, just just stepping away from the hoop a little bit. And then just to get a sense of what we're talking about, you can just sort of try to pass yourself like in a 360 while the hoop is leaning against you. Okay? Obviously, I need to work on this guy. And then the idea, and we've done this before, I'm sort of doing it now, is you sort of play with the hoop as if it's this kind of like contact ball on your waist or your legs or wherever your size hoop hits. Okay. And then you can add your arms into this, right? And I can, if I'm feeling it, I can come down and just make, sort of gentle touch here. I'm not telling you how to hoop. Of course, I would never do that, but just sort of gentle touch. And then, with that sort of, with the hands added to it, then you can really start to get things super crisp if that's what you're going for, right? Then you can start to like really work on stepping in and out of the hoop or whatever, okay? But for me, a lot of times, I just really like the sort of super passive, I'm not even going to use my hands approach. Okay, so we'll try this with some music and see how it goes. This is standing point leaning. One, two. The song sounds a little muted, but it does come up. What'd you think?
I think that was good. I think you should allow for like more use your arms with it.
Tara said she liked that, but I should have said we could use our arms more than we actually did. But I will show you before we move up, and this kind of does work into where we're going. But of course, no, I'm just assuming most of you already do loads of variations of these things. But if you're a beginner and you haven't seen this before, then maybe I'm showing you ice for the first time. But you can do a lot of cool things from this position, and a lot of the folds that we've worked on where I'm coming in, I can fold into that. So like if I'm here and I'm bouncing, I'm using my hands like I was talking about, I can, because I've taught my hands how to hit this fold position right here, once I've taught that how to do that, then I can pretty much, just grab the hoop out of these weird positions and just sort of fold it and walk it all the way up from the body from that sort of standing point on the ground. Boom. Okay. All right. So let's talk some balance. That's what we're here for. Actually, we're going to talk a little bit about, we'll do one super quick exercise for, actually this will work. Okay, so we're going to do one super quick exercise for a standing point in a rolling situation. And so this is my like how to learn, chest rolls, back rolls, that sort of thing. We're going to do a back roll really quick, and I'm not going to insult you and say that it's easier than that it's an easy move or whatever, but I will say that it seems easy once you get it. I'll just put it that way. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to spin the hoop. Now it won't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed. We're going to do it on the left hand. So you're going to spin the hoop on your left hand, okay? And I want you to spin it so that it's going towards, like in an overhand way, your right hand, okay? So this is, if you know HoopPath language, this is a falling current. If I turn this way, it's a falling current, okay? So it's rolling toward my right hand. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine that my right hand is like this sidewalk, and it's going to go up under the hoop, and I'm going to turn. It's like I'm putting a coat on, right? Somebody's holding a coat and I'm putting it on. I'm going to like push my arm through. I'm even going to go up like you should. Okay, that's why we always get caught in the coat putting on thing. Come up, and that's going to cause the hoop to roll down on my back, and I'll show you what it looks like. So it looks something like, let me bring the main camera back so you can really see. Okay, so it looks something like this. Boom. Okay, so I'm rolling the hoop. Yeah, Tara wants me to face away from you guys. So I'm holding my left hand, and it's going towards the right. Now I'll do it the other way just to show you guys that I can, and to prove that left-handed people can still do this. But I'm holding my left hand, and my right hand, I'm going to think about the hoop staying in more or less the same place. My right hand is going to come up under it. So it's rolling in my left. My right hand's going to come up under it and go up. So I'm here, I'm rolling it in this hand, and it's going to come up. And then the little trick to that move, the little secret, is if you don't try to grip the hoop, and if you bring your hand up, like if you create this hill, it might not be pretty, but it will keep working, right? So I'm here, I'm holding my left hand. Boom. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I've said this before. Well, let me do it with the other hand so that you guys don't think that it can't be done. So I'm holding my right hand now. Holding my right hand. I'm going to do it with my left hand. So I'm rolling, 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 and I'm going to go up. Put the hand up, boom. Okay, so boom. And what happens there, okay, here's the thing that people don't understand. You know how you have to train horses for everything? Humans are kind of the same way. And so what's sort of happening right now, you're also training yourself not to fear a hoop when it's rolling towards you, right? You're also teaching yourself, like some physics here, that if it's rolling on my hand and my hand goes up as it's rolling down it, it's going to create a hill, right? And that's all going to put pace on the hoop. The reason that the hoop sort of stalls is it's running out of energy. So there's two ways you can avoid that. You can whip the hoop really fast. If I do something like the old school way that they used to do chest rolls, was to whip the hoop super fast, get lots of momentum on it so it rolls across, right? I could do a back roll the same way. I'm probably going to break something, but I could do a back roll the same way. Like if I just roll, well, actually, that was more like a, let's see. Yeah, well, I've never been that good at doing them fast that way. You did it. Sweet, Carla. Sweet. All right. So classy. So, all right, we're done then. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. All right, let's play some music. Maybe you guys should just let us play with these and see what happens. We'll pick up the pace just a little bit. Have some fun.
They don't want to, they don't want to, they don't want to go on until the sun comes up.
So this would be, you know, this all falls under standing point, but that would include, you know, walking, running, whatever. So in this case, we're thinking of the hoop as being this rolling thing that we're always trying to get under. So it doesn't even have to be the move I'm teaching you, right? Like if you're struggling, you can't get that one. I just want you to roll it to your arm, right? And you'll feel it just roll across your arm. You know, you can just sort of release it, let it tap your arm, and you'll feel that roll. And what you really want, if you enjoy this kind of thing, if you like it, is to really identify with that rolling feeling, not just inside the hoop, like I'm doing right now, but getting used to the external side of the hoop, right? The external side. We know the inside edge of the hoop, but what does the external side feel like? Spoiler, it's just as awesome as the inside.
Innovative, calculated, circulated, celebrated, animated, activated, flavor like a now and later. Hey, hey, who got the hot sauce? Turn all the clocks off, get on the good foot. Go, hey, hey, who got the hot sauce? Turn all the clocks off, get on the good foot.
One thing I'll throw in here is that wheelies, of course, are also standing point. So I'm just saying, I'll just make this super quick. You don't have to even try it. But if I'm into all of these barrel rolls and I'm doing all these rolls, I can go right into a wheelie. Just mix things up a little bit, and then I keep that same roll going, right?
Hey, who got the hot sauce? Turn all the clocks off, get on the good foot.
So a wheelie, there's a class that I did that I thought was pretty good on wheelies. If you guys ever want to learn how to do that move, go find that class. It's called wheelies and other things or something like that. But that is a standing point move, right? Maybe like a moonwalking standing point. Hey, Autumn. Oh, no. Oh, well, gosh. There should be a lamp graveyard. We should just all send it somewhere. All right, well, since we do have... Actually, I was digging that track for that song. All right, so let's talk a little bit of balance here. And I'm going to put some music on, but it's going to be more chill. And I want to make sure I can talk over it kind of easily. Okay, so I'll show you one quick way to get into a balance. I don't want to frustrate anybody, but this is one way to work into a balance. Is that same move that we were doing before, where we were going into a barrel roll, or not a barrel roll, but into like a back roll or whatever. We don't even have to turn with it. We can just put our hand under it and push up, and the hoop can come to a balance there. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm rolling the hoop here, and I can push up and the hoop will sometimes go into a balance. Now, what I want you to feel is not so much the balance right now, but feel the stall. So this is called a balance. It's a stall, but it's a stall in balance, right? So this is what it'll feel like to you, okay? And this is what I hope you feel. You'll go up, and I just want you to feel like what it feels like to hold the hoop just for a second on the back of your wrist, then or hand or finger or whatever. And then the moment the hoop comes down, then you go into all your other normal stuff, okay? So what I want you to do is to see if you can feel like a balance for a second, and then if I'm a samurai person, I'll just go into, or you know what I mean, there's no identities, but like if samurai is my comfort zone. Yeah, just like Tara did just there. I don't know if you saw, not to put you on the spot, babe, but try it again. All right, sorry. I put you on the spot by trying to not put you on the spot. But Tara did it. So this is Tara's first time doing it too. So all I'm asking is that you sort of try to see if you can learn to establish a sort of balance, right? Now there's another way to establish this that doesn't involve the roll. And this is when we go into our 2-point, and so our top hand is on the inside wall, the bottom hand's on the outside wall. Now our bottom hand's going to become the balancing rock here. It's going to be what holds the balance. So if you're left-handed, right-handed, you can switch hands right now or whatever, or just figure it out on your own. And then what you're going to do is, and this is a good way to learn balance, is because what'll happen is you're going to transition your weight to whatever the power hand is, whatever the lower hand is, and then you're going to hold that balance just for a second. And then what I'd like you to try to do is to see, instead of letting it fall, if you just bring it back into a nice steady 2-point, right? So it's here, I'm in 2-point. I'm gonna let it go. Okay, it's starting to walk, so I'm going right back into 2-point. Now I didn't lose anything right now, okay? I gained, okay? And now I'm gonna pull it back a little bit longer. And then what'll help you is to tilt your hand towards you. If the hoop, especially if the hoop is walking away from you. But most hoopers, when they learn balance, if you tilt your hand towards you. Now I'll also show you what I'm doing here. I am using, I'm creating kind of a channel with my fingers here. But I'm not using any grip or whatever. That's just the channel. And so that's where the hoop is sitting, right? And now if they spread or whatever, that's fine. But I really don't recommend cheating. I mean, not that, there's no cheating in hooping, but I wouldn't cheat yourself. Let's put it that way. And grip the hoop. Instead, just you can use your fingers. You can use those, that sort of natural valley between the fingers to hold the hoop. So just to summarize this, here's what I'm saying. Is that for those of you that want to get good at balance, but you don't have the OCD mind to sit there and work on it constantly, you can weave it into your flow. That's what I did. And so what that would mean is just every now and then, I would just try to stop the hoop. It'd stop for a second, and then I'd grab it and throw it around and do whatever I wanted to. But I would just weave these one little moments where I could just throw it up. And then what happened is my balance started to get just a little bit better. Then it exponential growth, right? It just all of a sudden, once you feel it a little bit, you start to feel it a lot of it, because that's the thing with balance. It's a feeling that you feel. All right, so I'm gonna shut up and we'll play some music. I'm going to throw out some balance pointers. Tara right now is doing something called the door knocker. She's doing the door knocker. There we go. Actually, that's a great way to learn it. But anyway, it's about establishing however it works for you to get into a balance. Now, Tara's doing this move called the door knocker, which is kind of a harder way, but what I love about the door knocker is that it teaches you the feeling of balance. So just drop your hands. Now I'll show you. So this is. Think of it this way. You are, and I'm talking to the camera. I'm not talking to Tara right now. But think of it this way. You are unfurling a blanket, you're making a bed, you're at a picnic or whatever. So you got to send something out, and then you've got to get under it so that you flip it out. And that's what's happening, right? And so this is what you can do. If you can't get your hands to drop, you can do the dropping, right? So I'll use my legs to drop. So I'm going to swing it out, and my legs drop that time. Because what that drop does is it inverts the hoop suddenly, right? Otherwise, it's swinging out, and you're like a kid on the swing trying to do a 360, right? Like you're never hardly going to get there, right? There you go. So if you swing it out like you're making a blanket, making a bed, whatever, you unfurl. But it can be tricky. And I've noticed that when people are learning new movements, some people have more control of their legs, and some people have more control of their hands. I'm a hands guy. I'll show you what it looks like if you don't drop the hands, okay? This is what so you can recognize, maybe you don't even know if you're dropping the hands. But this is what it looks like if you don't drop the hands. Okay? Because the problem is that my high point is staying a high point. I need to make my high point a low point to create the balance. Now, let's talk some points on balance. Your sight, your gaze is everything. So I'm expecting that everybody's doing exactly what Tara's doing right now. You're just trying all sort of massive forms of balance, and I'm going to be giving you some advice while you're doing it, okay? So you can try any sort of balance you want. This is not particular to anything. It's all about your sight. Okay, for me, it's all about your sight. So if you find a focal point on the hoop and you hold that focal point with your gaze, like you're holding it still, like just imagine, these invisible hands reaching out and holding the hoop. That skill, to develop that ability, that will help hold the hoop more than anything. Okay, so if I'm here, I'm usually looking all the way across to there. Right? I don't usually look close here because it just makes my eyes go weird and whatever. But I look across there. Now, some people go to the North Star. Sometimes if you're in a balance like this, you look to this point here. But the most important thing is to not look at your hands. Don't look at your hands, okay? Unless you need to. But when you're trying to establish a balance, like this door knocker thing, I don't need to look at my hands. I only need to look at what the hoop is, what's swinging towards my head, which is this point right here. Okay. Okay, so I don't know if I really need to add anything here. We're almost at the end anyway. Yeah, we've had a pretty intensive class. Let's just do some free hooping, but I'm gonna keep it on this album by Domino, which I really like. We'll sort of end the night with some super chill, or not kind of chill. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Claire. Nama, thank you so much for stopping in. We miss you. Okay, let's maybe do... Yeah, maybe we'll just keep it chill like this. This will be our last track, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Shannon. Everyone who joined in. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night.